Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about having a routine or making a routine. Let's be completely honest, just between you and me. How many of us have routines in our life? With me, I'm pretty consistent with training. I would say training is part of my routine. If you go to my Instagram, you see that I upload training to my stories all the time. And if you watch what I post, it's also training. And throughout my life, I have slowly improved, meaning that I've been consistent with that training because it's part of my routine. But what's not part of my routine? And there's other things that I do consistently, like I have a full-time job and I'm able to save money. But uploading YouTube videos to this very channel is not part of my routine. Writing on my laptop, which I have right here, or on this notebook, YouTube ideas is not part of my routine. So if you want to start a routine, or if you already have a routine, but you think it's not complete, you can start today. So how do we do that? I have written down here, the first step is to identify flaws. So the amazing thing is, you don't need anything for this. Just take a step back and analyze yourself. Get your laptop, get a notebook, play some relaxing music, and start writing things that you notice about yourself. What do you think are areas of your life that you lack? You don't need to watch any videos for this. Just deep thinking about things that you can change. Okay, so for example, for me, I know I want to make YouTube videos. I haven't been doing that, and yes, it takes time. It's not that easy, but it's something I know I want to do. When I first started recording myself as well, I noticed that I didn't like how I sounded on camera. It wasn't until I filmed myself and I got to watch myself back on the laptop that I saw, wow, I sound like a bitch. And it's because I was a bitch at the time, and I had to go through some steps of self-development to catch that. And no, I'm not forcing how I sound, I'm just talking confidently. So it's funny when you go from sounding like a bitch to sounding confident. Yes, the way you carry yourself and the way you speak to other people changes. So that's also something I want to add into my new routine, because like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm lacking myself, like making videos and also making sure I'm consistent with being confident, which goes into how I speak and how I carry myself. And you might be wondering, how is that something you can work on? It's not like training. Well, actually, you can set aside time for that to practice your confidence, or you could just write it down. Simply writing it down, making it part of your goal. You'll be surprised. You just write it down. Like, you will be confident every single day, and you read that. You can make it part of your routine to remind yourself to read that, and it's gonna work. You're gonna be succeeding. Step number 2 is scheduling. For example, I want to make videos. I want to stretch. I want to be more confident every day. I can't just say that I want to do that. That's pointless. Just like my training, I set aside time and I make a plan for my week as to when I'm going to train. If I say I just want to train, well, then I'm not going to feel obligated because I could do that at any time. But if I know, okay, in order for me to get better, how many days a week do I have to train for my specific goals? Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, right? If it's 3 times a week, you want to train 3 times a week, you have to go, okay, Monday through Sunday, where do I want to fit 3 days to train? For me, it's usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's being like my bread and butter for very long. As far as making, for example, YouTube videos and stretching, that is something that I'm actually going to have to make. I'm going to have to make a weekly schedule that doesn't just include training. It has to include time for stretching, time for making videos. And it's something I was working on, but I never actually printed it or used it. So that's really important, having a schedule. Whatever you want to do, you need to actually find the time to schedule that thing in for you to get better. Routines are superior. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, life isn't meant to live exactly the same every single day, and that's why you can actually schedule fun. You can have like one day out of the week or maybe you don't have a routine, that's okay. But I really think if you think about the people who get to some of the highest levels, they have routines. Routines are dangerous because they're so effective. Step number 3, consistency. The most important thing, because people make routines, most of us have made routines before, is being consistent. It's not about having the best single day where you stuck to your routine to a T. You ate everything, you counted everything, you trained perfectly, you kept track of all your sets, you did meditation, you went for your 30-minute walk exactly for 30 minutes. Like, it's not about that. It's about doing that routine pretty much good enough almost for an entire year. And then eventually it's just part of you. Kind of like training has become part of me at this point. I make sure I don't miss it. I'm still bad at other things, like I said, stretching, making videos, but that's what's more important. Step 3 is consistency with that routine. Hopefully not for your entire life, because you're not going to be the same person, hopefully, and you'll be growing as an individual, so you'll be setting and adding to your routine. Your routine should be changing with you as you're changing and learning things. Some things will always be the same, right? Like training, but the amount of time you train, the frequency and all that can change. Okay, and what else do I have written down here? So I did write out a lot of this, but I'm not going off of the script too much because I want to be able to talk and really go in depth with these key points that I have. So what do you need in order to have a routine and stick to it long term? Because like I said, long enough for it to matter. That's what's going to make the difference. It's belief. You have to believe in why you're doing this. That's what it comes down to, guys. That's why having a strong foundation for the routine helps. If you have something that doesn't have a strong foundation with your morals and beliefs, it's going to be harder to stick to it. For example, nothing wrong with bodybuilding. I prefer calisthenics and rock climbing, but specifically pull-ups, so I don't really do push or the other stuff. Maybe I will though at some point. So yep, I don't. Nothing wrong with bodybuilding, but I personally prefer calisthenics. Not because it's easier or harder. I just have more fun doing it. I have more fun. I enjoy the journey. So you can use calisthenics for bodybuilding and weightlifting for calisthenics. It doesn't matter as long as it's what you want to do. And since I enjoy it more, it works on my mental health by me being happier throughout my day and knowing I'm one step closer to my personal goals. So it's not that there's anything wrong with bodybuilding, but it is important to work on your mental health, to do something that you somewhat enjoy. And it can be like a 2-for-1. For example, I do like climbing, I do like pull-ups, it's fun, but it's still difficult. And if you do it and you push yourself to a high level, it may stop being fun, right? But you think about, oh wow, like how far I came and all of this. Kind of like making a YouTube video. You think about, oh, like I could be out and doing other things, but I still have time for that. But I know that I'm helping people. Oh, that's cool. There's some bubbles blowing. I'm just getting distracted. There's some bubbles being blown, I guess, from the neighbor. So, I also say, like, doing things that you don't enjoy is important, but you also want to have some balance, right? Your balance level depends on what you can handle, what you can tolerate. That's going to be constantly changing with you, kind of like the routine. So for me, training, it's like I'm able to learn to enjoy that process, which is an amazing and beautiful thing. Okay, so lastly, you're not always going to enjoy your routine. Even though I enjoy pull-ups, on some days I don't want to do it. But I guarantee if you are able to see the end results of something you've always wanted, you will be fine. Routines are superior. I don't care what anyone says. So that's the entire video. If you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. Doesn't really matter. All comments are welcomed. Leave them in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought, and hopefully this video was helpful about routines and it encouraged you to start having a routine to get ahead in life. That's the entire video, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.